Hello everyone, I am Aidan Morales, the main developer behind the Forest Management and Analysis platform. Today we'll be going over the introduction and background around the ForMAPL tool. So let's get started. So first of all, ForMAPL is a deliverable from the Northern Hardwoods Resilience Project, which is funded and sponsored by, firstly, the USDA Forest Service Northern Research Station, as well as Michigan State University and the Quebec Ministry of Natural Resources and Forests. And so if you want to learn more about this project from the Forest Service webpage, please see this QR code here on the right. And so a little bit about the project and how the tool plays a part in this. So the Northern Hardwoods Resilience Project is looking at what is the current state of our Northern Hardwoods forests in the past, the present, the future. So how can we take what we know about these forests and present these findings for managers so they can manage their forests more effectively into the future? And one of the ways we can do this is through management tools, such as the ForMAPL platform. So we need things that let you plan, are accessible to managers, they provide accurate numbers, and they're flexible to meet different needs. And so as a part of the Northern Hardwoods Resilience Project, we collected 12 data sets across different levels, all filled with plot data containing tree, health, economic, and environmental data. And we needed a way to wrangle that data, aggregate it, develop forest types, and look at the spatial patterns. This is what we call big data and problems associated with big data. And so we developed the ForMAPL platform for our own internal use, but we're making it available to the public to help forest managers, again, analyze and visualize their forest data. So ForMAPL is built in R and R Shiny, so it's open source, and because it uses Shiny, it's easy to use with a point-and-click interface. And so we want things to be fast and generic, so that way it's compatible with all different sorts of data sets and data formats. And again, the Shiny app makes it more accessible to people that may not have a programming background. And again, we also have the R package for more technical users as well. So under the hood of the app, we have again R Shiny, Golem, which is, think of it as a production-ready environment for Shiny apps. So you have the peace of mind that they are deployable and that they are made with the best development practices. So we also want to have efficient data manipulation in ForMAPL. So we have C++ code that replaces much of the underlying slow R code for 10 to 100 times improvements in efficiency and computation time. So for very large data sets, you can get aggregation and your metrics quite quickly. We also have interactive maps using the Leaflet and WebGL platforms, or excuse me, LeafGL platforms. So we can take hundreds of thousands of polygons and plot locations and plot those on the map interactively, and color them with different variables, etc. We also have good visualization of our data using popular tools such as ggplot for things like diameter distributions, and Plotly to turn those ggplots into an interactive plot. And so the main features of ForMAPL is we want dynamic data. So the user can upload their own data sets, or they can take public data sets, they can filter, they can aggregate, they can map, and then they can visualize their data all in real time. And so one of the main requirements of the ForMAPL tool is that the data must be in a tidy format. So what this means is that each observation, the tree, this corresponds to a row in our data. Each column is a variable about that tree. So if you look at this example data set here, we have our rows. So if we're looking at a plot in Maine, for example, this is plot 1 in Maine. And each row is an individual tree. We can see here on this plot, it has a balsam fir with a diameter of 7.7 inches and to trees per acre of 6 and a basal area per acre of 1.95. So on this plot, each row is an individual tree. So we have balsam fir, a red spruce, a sugar maple, a yellow birch, and a couple American beech. And so this is what tidy data means. Again, each row is a tree, and each column corresponds to a variable about that tree. So we know that this balsam fir was measured in this year with this diameter at this location on this plot. So that's what tidy data is. If you ever worked with Excel, it should be pretty straightforward and familiar, but if not, please make sure that your data is in a tidy format before you use it in the ForMAPL Shiny app. Okay, so what do we need from you in order to be able to use ForMAPL? So first of all, you need plot data. So this can be collected either as fixed area plots or variable area plots. So of course, if it's fixed area, you have a fixed expansion factor. Or if it's variable area, you need to know the basal area factor of the Crusoe, angle gauge, or prism that you use to collect your variable area plots. So each plot must have a unique identifier. So you need to know where, what sorts of keys can identify your plot. So let's say you have a state code, a county code, and if those uniquely identify your plot, you can use those as your plot ID. Or if you have very few plots, it can be a simple numeric number, anything that just creates a unique identifier for an individual physical location on Earth for your plot. And closely tied to the plot ID is the plot coordinates. So we need to know where that plot is on Earth. And so you can use any reference system that you want for this. Typically, most people use lat long, but UTM, as long as you know the zones or any other sort of system, will work just fine. You also need to know the tree species in any system that you choose. So you can use FIA codes, you can use your own codes, numbers, letters, whatever you want, you can use to identify your tree species. Just be consistent, so that way every tree species doesn't have a different code or a different system. Just be consistent in how you upload it, how you work with your data. You should be just fine with any system you choose. We also have the tree diameter. That's what we need for the DBH of the tree, either in imperial or metric. And again, you can use imperial or metric throughout ForMAPL. Just make sure that you're consistent and that you don't mix and match units. So if you use DBH in inches, you use acres and feet in imperial, that's cool. Or if you want to use DBH in centimeters, meters, and hectares, it also works as well. Just make sure you don't mix and match your units. Okay, so that will wrap up this brief introduction video. And in the next part 1, we'll go over actually installing and using ForMAPL.